We got some good rackets.
We had some good ones.
You're excited. Look at you. You're usually not excited about talk about real estate.
Really?
Not that excited, you know? This is Byron Lazine and Nicole White, and you are tuned into episode 31 of The Real Word. All right, Nicole, you're chomping at the bit. Tell them what you did over this. Yeah,
it's fine. We're done.
No, you're not done.
Nope.
You're not done.
We're all good.
What did you do this weekend?
I did nothing.
You did nothing?
Not a thing.
Come on.
Nothing.
Come on.
Nothing.
You wanted to thank Zillow for something.
I did.
You're a Zillow kiss
I did.
ass,
I went.
so
and,
let it out.
Oh, I am. I'm just trying to.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to catch up to you because your face is so brown from all that brown.
I will bash
nosing.
Zillow, which I'm about to do in the top
I did go and see
topic. Go ahead.
Incredibles.
Did you like the movie?
I did.
Give us, what would you give it? You know, out of 10.
I thought
9.2.
Okay, so I have to say that I think that you would actually enjoy the movie too.
Oh.
It had some good like modern day like life
Humor?
lessons. No, the humor was there too, but like
Okay.
good, really interesting lessons. I enjoyed it.
And you attribute Zillow to why you went and saw the movie.
Not really, but
You just wanted to get out of the house with your kids. All right. Speaking of Zillow,
we're on it.
they put their first property as a seller under contract, right?
We have no details though.
starting.
It's just under contract. I
Yeah,
mean,
we
at
have
any
details.
moment
This
this
is
thing could fall apart.
It's under contract, so of course you know the deal.
Yeah, I know.
Of course
I'm
it
just
could fall
saying.
apart.
Man,
Patrick,
I feel like they're like it's jinxed.
oh my God, don't even talk about jinxing properties right now. My God, Patrick Kern's Inman article. He wrote the article. Put their first contract as a seller, expected to close mid-July. George Lawton, the company's listing agent, confirmed this to Inman.
For $220.
They purchased it May 31st.
Oh, Zillow did?
Zillow did for $220,000, and it's going to be their first sale.
What's it on for? Do we know how much it's on for?
No, this is a different one. There was one that they purchased for $410, and then they listed it for $425, and they've already reduced the asking price to $418.
What? Why are they buying homes? I'm confused.
So when these properties get squeezed, they don't tell us how much the one is going to sell for that's under contract. But as these
but
properties,
they could at least tell us what it's on the market for.
They don't. They didn't.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. But as these properties get squeezed a little bit, like their
Like
margin
full
obviously
disclosure
on
here.
this $425,000 listing that went to $418 that they bought for $410, they're getting squeezed here on their margin.
I mean, I'm not understand. I'm assuming Zillow must have dropped some money into it too. Isn't that their tactic here? Are they buying, fixing up, and then they're flipping?
If they have to,
right?
they might just be cleaning it, paint, whatever. But it sounds like in the top of it, it doesn't get into it in the article. So Patrick, help us out here, brother.
Throw me something.
It says there's
Super
another
vague.
listing, and I'm assuming it's the $425,000 listing that got reduced by 1.6% on the commission. So how do you feel about that?
On the commission?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what it said?
Oh no, 1.6% on the list
On the
price.
price.
You're right.
I was like,
Got
1.6,
it.
dude.
But all right, so let's do this. Let's play this out.
Well, that's probably what that was. The 418 to the 410. That was probably
Okay, that's the
one.
1.6%.
Yeah,
You're right. All right, so that was a small reduction. So I misspoke.
We're catching up.
So where is the commission if they bought it for 410 and the list price is 418?
Well, because
Is
they're
Zillow now losing money? Because
oh my God, Zillow's totally losing money.
This is why I'm
because they're hiring an agent, right?
Okay.
An agent.
But
and then they're having to throw out a co-broke.
This is why I'm a little confused. I reached out to Zillow personally, and I asked what the commission is going to be that they offer the premier agents on the list side.
Yeah.
And it was told to me that it was going to be appropriate rate for the local area.
Okay.
So if we look at our area, you could say a lot of times typically people are between 5 and 6.
So I'm curious then.
So my point is, if they bought it for 410 and it's now listed at 418, they're losing money just on the commission?
Well, dude, listing it for 418, you're losing money on it regardless. Like, why would you put it back on the market for 8 G's more? It doesn't even make any sense. But anyway, I there's lots of questions though too, because maybe these agents are willing to take a little bit of a reduced rate because maybe Zillow. I mean, Zillow is obviously a huge company. Maybe they're the ones that are doing the marketing. Maybe they're spending their marketing dollars.
Most of the homes are priced at less than $10,000 for what they were purchased. After factoring in agent commission and the slight cosmetic renovations.
So they're wanting to
to
lose money?
The profit is slim. So an investor call last month, CEO Spencer Raskoff addressed that small profit margin. And he said, even if Zillow were to say make $3,500 on average of each home with a large number of transactions, it would turn a big profit. And then he gets into theory, if 5% of sellers selected this method. But then I don't even think they're going to capitalize on 5% of the marketplace, by the way. I think that's a little aggressive.
But then they have to pay tax on the money that they're making.
Conveyance tax.
You're just talking about a couple $100.
I doubt they're paying taxes because they'll probably just keep rolling this over. I don't know what they're.
But
I'm not their
profit.
CPA.
You have to pay tax on a profit. It's not just because they're a company. Yeah.
Not if you roll it over. Not if you roll it over and you just keep deferring the taxes.
I don't know. The whole thing doesn't make any sense
to me.
Because
they're grouping this. I'm not a CPA. Now we're getting way out of
unless they're purposely taking them and purposely taking a loss to offset something else.
Here's my question, and this is what I'm looking. If anyone can help us out,
please.
Whether you're from Labcoat, you're from Inman, maybe it's Patrick. What is the commission? Because if they're listing these homes for $10,000 on average more than they bought them for, but yet they're giving an appropriate commission to the local area, something's off. Something's not adding up.
They're starting off as a negative already.
Absolutely. Something's not adding up with the numbers that I'm running, and I'm not the smartest guy, and I got a C- in math class.
Well,
but
it's not enough.
Based off of my iPhone calculator, you're losing money on every one of these deals when you pay a commission.
I mean, taxes,
right.
Especially if you're in in an area where there's a lot of FHA buyers. You have to hold on to the property for at least 90 days.
So I did not brown nose Zillow.
No.
I'm asking for clarification.
We need clarification. No, in the past.
100%.
In the past, yeah.
I'd like some clarification too on what Open Door is doing with all their money.
Yeah.
I mean, I was inboxing, so the last video I had some inboxing going on Twitter.
She wanted us to really do it.
Somebody from Open Door, and she said, hey, you guys should come visit a local area. Open Door, you got the dough. You just got 300 plus milli. Send us out to Vegas or somewhere.
We'll take our marketing guy with us. We'll do a whole video.
We're going to take Sam.
Totally got to take Sam with us.
Everybody
document all of it.
Everybody jack up Open Door on Twitter. Let them know that you want the real word to go do a vlog style weekend warrior showings.
So fun.
On some Open Door properties.
I don't think that I'd call it weekend warrior. Give me a few days and I'll come up with a real name.
All right. We're not going to do it.
We know that you hate names.
Racket number 1. These rackets are sick. All right. Racket number 1. Extorting the Jills in Miami, Florida.
Love it.
Is this a racket or not?
I don't know. The whole thing is mind-blowing to me because in the article, the Jills are pretty much admitting the fact. Okay, so what's going on here? The Jills are obviously listing agents through Coldwell Banker down in the Miami.
They're big agents.
They're huge agents. They're killing it. Down the Miami Beach area. And what they're doing is that when their listings expire, they're changing. I don't know if it's the zip code or the address or what, but they're changing the location of the homes when they expire. So that other agents within that area don't call the sellers.
Do you think the Jills would hate me in their marketplace? How much do you think they'd hate what we're doing? We're calling on expireds. We're calling
totally
on canceled listings all the time.
Now we know that we have to actually call a bigger area to get our area. Another Miami Beach realtor found out about
Kevin
this.
Tomlinson found guilty of extorting the Jills, his rivals in Miami Beach's luxury real estate market.
He took the wrong turn is that instead of just going to maybe the MLS or going to Coldwell Banker or whatever it was that he needed to do, he tried to extort them out of how much? $800,000.
He started at $250 a piece.
Yeah.
Then he went up to $400. They recorded this.
Yeah, I mean,
they went to the authorities, and he's like, "Yeah, but they're doing this on the MLS," and the authorities are like, "Dude, we don't care about the MLS."
Yeah.
That's how much it shows you guys. You get into something that's really legal, the MLS and all these code of ethics and all this bullshit that NAR really wants to stand behind doesn't matter when something really
real life, yeah,
like real shit happens.
So it's a shame because he was onto something,
Yeah.
except he did it
But
the
then
wrong
he
way.
did it completely the wrong way.
So the whole thing is a racket. He's a racket. They're a racket.
The Jills are a big time racket here, and because they're literally, they had this guy.
They're
in their
claiming that their sellers didn't want to get expired calls, but it
No,
gives you a
but
number.
here's
It's
what they
like
said.
400
Here-
times it's happened.
Yeah, yeah.
Didn't it give you a number?
Yeah, but here's the goods. Both testified that they asked an office associate. They're passing the buck.
They are.
For help because their clients with unsold homes were incensed by barrages of phone calls from rival brokers looking to get in on the listings. So this guy, Juan Carlos Atoya, who's in the Jill's office, changed data on at least 51
Oh, it was
properties.
51. I thought it was more than that.
On at least 51 properties. And the Jills are sitting back saying, but we didn't know about this. Like, we didn't know it was on all these properties. They
Yeah.
100%, Jills, listen, I'll still take your referrals, but you 100% knew what was going on.
Crazy.
Nobody that's running a team or an office doesn't know what's going on inside of that. And it's a total racket that you're just not going to rest on the relationships that you've built, the product that you're putting out there, you know, all the stuff that you've done for the listing. Like, if you're good enough to keep the listing, then you should keep it. But this is a competitive marketplace. And if I was in Miami, I'd be dialing every one of your expireds nonstop just because I know you're going to react this way to it.
Right.
And so the other dude, he's a total racket. He's going to go to jail.
Look at him, though. Look at that picture of him. He's super smug.
You can't be extorting people, dude. That's a
No,
complete racket.
And if that much money, I mean, when you're in Miami, I'd like to think that you're like, I feel like
Yeah.
maybe you should have asked for more.
That's a Miami Herald. As we always do, we'll link up the article. There's not an article for racket number 2, but this could be, my friends, the best all-time racket we've ever done.
Yeah, ever. Woo.
Small town private Facebook pages. Are they a racket, Nicole?
My
Yes or no?
gosh. They are a total racket.
Why? Why are they?
Well,
a
the
racket?
problem is, though, I totally fall into rabbit hole.
What is a small town private Facebook page? Because if you're living in the city, you're probably like, what is this? What
Oh
are
my
they
God, I'm
talking
sure
about?
cities have it though too.
They're like the little
in our town,
neighborhoods?
yeah. So it's they have to.
Yeah.
They have to. So they're just town community pages.
So in the
where,
town that you and I live in,
yes,
there's
there's a
one
page.
that's called Guilford, Connecticut, and
Yes.
it's called Simply Guilford.
Simply Guilford.
The town that we're sitting in right now, we're in our Nyack office. There is, I think it's called Nyack Beach Bums, is a private Facebook
I'm certain
group.
every town
And
has
yeah,
one.
exactly,
And
100%.
people
talk about everything. They talk about the weather.
everything. Hey, they need a recommendation for like an electrician.
I saw a coyote.
Look at this really cool. Yeah, there was a bear.
Yep.
Pulling
underwear from a campsite and pulling it across the road. Like
Yeah,
just all kinds
that's
of
what
weird.
you
They just
read that
talk about
one?
weird stuff.
Yes.
All kinds of weird stuff.
They harass local developers in town. They do all sorts of lovely things.
Right. So what I've found that the posts that have the least amount of engagement are the most true. and the ones that have high levels of engagement are complete rackets. They're usually ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'll give an example of Nyack. There's a restaurant really close to where we're sitting right now, and they shut down for a week or 2 weeks or whatever.
Well,
it was like a week.
They closed multiple locations.
They had 2 or 3 different restaurants. They closed them all at the same time, and they were doing some renovations across the board. People started to comment on this thread. Oh my gosh, they're human trafficking, like all this weird stuff's happening, and it just started spiraling out of control. Hundreds of comments and feedback of people saying, debating, no, this is what's happening. Other people saying, no, it's
funniest
renovations.
part, though, is that some of those people that even comment on there probably don't even live in the town anymore.
Oh,
They're
no,
from
of
the
course.
town, but just like continue to follow what's going on in the town. So then they start chiming in.
And so the restaurant owners
It's
start
fun, they just,
posting
like-
pictures like, no, we're painting. Here's the wet paint.
Which is almost worse because it's just like, just reopen your doors and show them that you're not really like
Yeah.
human trafficking.
It highlights the fact that people can throw stuff against the wall and it really catches
Oh my
legs.
gosh. Okay, so this is actually perfect. I mean, it's sort of not the same thing, but kind of. So just the other day, I'm sure everyone has heard, there's a restaurant in Virginia that turned away who is that woman? Help me here. The president.
The president? Donald?
No,
Donnie
no.
T? The president's wife?
Can we edit this just because it's...
No editing, Sam.
God,
There's absolutely no...
It all
the
makes
president's wife, the daughter.
No, the press secretary.
The press secretary.
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes,
what's her
whatever
name?
her name is.
What's her name? Press secretary.
See?
Just flash it once you figure it out. Press secretary. I know what she looks like.
So there's a restaurant in Virginia that turned her away, and the restaurant in Virginia was called The Red Hen. So there is a red hen in the town of Old Saybrook, Connecticut. And if you go to their Facebook page...
They're saying this restaurant now turned people away in Old Saybrook?
Holy crap. These poor people. I've seen at least 600 comments on their Facebook page. Like, to the point now, there was an article in the paper that I read that the woman of the red hen in Old Saybrook is now considering like changing her name because of this. The reviews on their Facebook page have gone through the roof.
Wow.
And they're not
negatively
negative, and they're not even affiliated. And even when they put a post on their Facebook page disclosing the fact
people
that
argue that they are affiliated.
Because they're thinking it's like a chain.
That's my biggest problem. You can show evidence on these pages. Oh no, we're painting. Yeah. Or oh no, that's not the case.
And people will make whatever.
And people are going to argue back with zero evidence.
Zero.
It's not a conversation. Sarah Sanders. Yes, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Sarah.
Thanks, Sam.
But people are going to argue with no evidence. There's not a conversation happening. So a few years ago, I was like, man, these things are going to be how you become the voice of your community. I was like 100%. These local Facebook pages are how you're going to really be seen as that local real estate expert chiming in. I think chiming in consistently on them can make you look like a complete fool. The people wasting their time on these platforms.
I chime in every once in a while.
Are typically the people that, and I get it, chiming in once in a while and then being engaging is not a bad thing. But the people that are divisive on these things are the people that are 100% not looking to sell their home. They're going to be there for the rest of their lives.
Well, they better be there for the rest of their lives, because the problem is that they're criticizing other people in the town that they're accusing that they love and cherish, and I love living here and I don't want it to change.
It's those types of people. Don't change.
It's super counterproductive. And you just if these changes weren't happening, your house would be worth probably what you paid for it back in 1975, which was like $3.
And I think that if you're a buyer coming into one of these towns, I'd stay away from those places because you're not going to get a true
representation of what the community is.
I would still do what I always say, which is if you're a buyer going into any town, spend a month doing breakfast and lunch somewhere in that town. Don't eat in, eat out every single day for a month in that town. People are always doing drive-bys of the houses, but they don't understand the town.
Right.
Like get into the restaurants, the coffee shops, the marketplaces.
Not those Facebook pages. Those are mind-blowing.
Stay away from those. Those are a racket. Racket number 3. Spying sellers.
This is a fun one, too, because this article, in the middle of us reading
this is another local
we didn't even realize that this is a Realtor Mag article.
Betsy Anderson, she's a local real estate agent.
I know her. I love Betsy.
She's in Madison, Connecticut, William Pitt Sotheby's International Realty. She was going through a tour. It was of her listing.
It was of her listing, and it sounded like it was maybe her buyers, too. I don't know if it was...
Either way, she was there.
She was giving a tour. She opened up the back door for something, and I think she left it open. And all of a sudden, she got a message from her seller saying, "Why are you letting the cold air into the house?" And she was instantly. But it's interesting though, because in Connecticut, you are required by law to disclose on a list on when you're taking listing paperwork if you are going to be recording.
Yeah, it's written into the Connecticut MLS.
So I'm actually a little flabbergasted that even took place, because there could have been some crazy ramifications for the fact that seller didn't disclose the fact that he was recording. But what this article is saying is that it actually will hurt you as a seller if this is what you're doing. I agree. I mean, I have to kind of agree. It's sort of like. We always argue.
Do you think it hurts sellers?
Well, it's sort of like what we were talking about. What we always talk about is like, should the listing agent be at showings? You know, right? Mm-hmm. Is it hurting or helping?
I think the majority of the time it hurts.
Exactly. So I think you're essentially doing the same exact thing by recording, because people are they're not feeling comfortable in the house. They're already feeling like you're going to be super protective and really hard to work with.
I think 100% of listings in 5+ years are going to be recorded. So I think right now we're not used to it.
Well, I think the fact that it wasn't disclosed.
I think it 100% needs to be disclosed.
Yeah.
I agree with you there. And if this seller didn't disclose that, which Betsy was caught off guard, so obviously they didn't.
Yeah, because it says later she updated the disclosure, but they should have disclosed that
that's
from
total
the very
crap.
beginning.
That part's a racket.
Because they signed in that contract. It's in there.
Yeah.
There's a paragraph.
Yeah, it's very clear.
Yes.
Now that part's a racket. What I don't think is a racket is the fact that, again, and I beat up on it all the time, Open Doors, Zillow, all these things where you're going to be able to go to listings without an agent, which is going to become the norm, whether you're a broker or an open door company or something similar to that. You're going to let people into homes eventually without agents because it just makes the most sense. And those are going to be recorded.
I was going to say, I wonder if Open Door is recording them.
That I don't know. That I'd love to find out. Maybe we'll jack up.
They have to. I mean, you have to have. There has to be some, especially if
Twitter
they're just letting
account
people
too.
in. There has to be some sort of. In that situation, they have to. Right? I mean,
Yeah.
God forbid there's like destruction.
Exactly. I think it makes a lot of sense when you have an empty house and you don't have agent representation to make sure that everyone knows. I mean, it's this. I just went on a listing appointment and the seller has the sign on the window that says recording device. He had somebody come up to the window at night, the garage window, saw the sign, ran away. It can be used as a deterrent.
Well, I mean, I think I have an ADT sign out the front of my house.
But my point is, like, if you're going to go view a property, now you know you're being 100% recorded. They have your information on the sign-in. That's why I believe this whole thing about, oh, my gosh, you're going to let people in without an agent. Like, dude, half the agents out there are scumbags. Like, you're worried about normal people coming in when you have all their contact information. Maybe you have a credit card and you have them recorded.
Well, so
it's going to work. It's going to work.
The thing is, though, is that as an agent, we should be following all of those protocols. Even if you're taking off a buyer, like managers all the time say, get a picture of their driver's license. And agents are always like super timid about asking for their driver's license to make a copy of it, but it's all really good practices.
Yeah.
But obviously Open Door is probably going to require these things for people to go into these homes, which also I think it'll also, it'll weed out all of the people that are just looking, like you and I, that are looking to go on like
I'm telling
a
you
San
right,
Antonio tour.
I'm telling you right now, we need
had to do that for Macy.
There you go. There you go, Tim. Tim, you better be watching. Drop us a comment at this moment. 100% this winter, we should be focused on building out a website that, like when you order some food online and you can scan your credit card.
Yes.
Like, schedule a showing to this property now. To your point, scan your license, upload it right to our system, and you just go right through the whole thing, and then you gain access to the house. Because I had calls this weekend, people last minute wanting to see houses. They had a 2-hour window. Like, I'm not even in the town.
I get that all the time.
All the time, right?
Yeah. And like they're coming up from New York. It's like you had like a 3-hour drive to plan for this, and now all of a sudden you're here.
But listen, people don't care, and they're never gonna start caring. You're not gonna educate human beings to start caring about your time. Right. They don't give a nor should they.
Right.
So when they have the opportunity,
it's not even my time. I'm not even worried about my time. It's just a matter of getting into that house.
But if you're committed, if you're a serious seller, what are your hours? And then people can sign up and go see the house. I think it makes a lot of sense. Betsy, poor little Betsy. I'm sorry this happened. Your sellers.
I am too, and it's so funny. Like, I never even, we'll have to reach out to her.
And I don't think to the overall point of how this started, and we're going to link this one up. It's a Realtor Mag special from Nicole White. I think the overall point here is that if you're a seller and you're just looking to see if your agent's doing the right job, and Betsy's a great agent, so
I love Betsy.
and we just know that 'cause she's local, but then you probably don't have the right agent. If you're that concerned, you probably don't have the right agent. And if you're going to be that hands-on, maybe you should look at...
do a FSBO.
Maybe you should look at the FSBO, bozo. All
right.
Those are the rackets.
It was good.
Drop us some feedback, and definitely go on to Twitter and let Open Door know to take the crew, Byron, Nicole, and Sam, at an Open Door city. We'll do a serious vlog style.
We'll do all the video. I mean, we'll pretty much we'll market Open Door.
It'll be like a movie, right, Sam? It'll be a goddamn movie.
We'll blow it. We'll blow the what is it? What did I go see?
Incredible.
Thank you. We'll blow them right out of the water.
It'll be so incredible. We'll start Real Word Productions.
Wow.
See you guys next week.
Bye.